Standard & Poor's International Credit Rating Agency has once again downgraded the country's credit rating and have now tagged the country's economy with a negative outlook. The report cites recent challenges with the Bahamas resort as the main triggering factor for this downgrade. Clint Watson takes a closer look tonight.
Standard & Poor's has lowered the country's credit rating from BBB to BBB negative and projects a negative outlook for the Bahamian economy. The rating agency says it lowered the Bahamas ratings to reflect both long-term vulnerabilities and the short-term economic shock of the Bahamas bankruptcy filing and subsequent legal disputes. The long-term vulnerabilities include a weakening external position and a fragile domestic economy. In the domestic economy, non-performing loans are more than 15% of total loans. Consumer credit and outstanding residential mortgages are more than 60% of GDP. Unemployment, excluding seasonal effects, remains elevated. An inefficient energy sector pushes up energy costs and weighs on growth. Standard & Poor's says the short-term economic shock pertains to the Bahamas bankruptcy filing and subsequent ongoing legal disputes. The agency says they do not believe that the parties involved, that is a developer, Bahamas Limited, its main lender, the Export-Import Bank of China, the contractor China Construction America, will manage to resolve their differences in time for the resort to open for the high season beginning in December. In fact, S&P says in their view, bookings will take longer to fill the complex once it opens, given the reputational damage to the resort's brand, as well as the time needed to obtain new airlift capacity for the resort, among other issues. They say the combination of long-term vulnerabilities with a short-term economic shock will continue to place the Bahamas in a low-growth trend, with real GDP per capita growth of less than 1% over the next several years. On the other hand, Standard & Poor's says the government has made progress improving the country's fiscal deficits, particularly through the introduction of the value-added tax in January 2015. Preliminary estimates show that from January to June, the government collected about $150 million in new net revenue from the VAT. It's based on this that the agency believes, along with formalization spillovers for the modernized tax systems, will contribute to a deceleration in the decrease of general government debt to just below 3% of GDP in 2015 from almost 7% in 2014. In fact, this progress has contributed to the decision to keep the rating on the Bahamas in the investment grade category. However, the fiscal reform measures will need to be accompanied by higher growth in order to stabilize the government's debt burden. Now, it's important to note that the rating still keeps the Bahamian dollar on par with the U.S. dollar. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.